And just to clarify, this is the Direct Action Committee?
Yes.
I would just ask if people know when they're giving report backs about particular committees, if there is an upcoming next meeting or next thing to get involved in, if you could also give an update of that, or if people can think about if they know any of those things are coming up, maybe we can write them down by the door for people to jot down by the end of the day, because yeah, people have been wondering how to get to the next meeting and get involved sometimes.
Cool.
So I think Brian, unless Carol or Hannah had something to add. Brian, did you want to give an update?
Yeah, I've got 3 announcements. I'm with the Outreach Committee, and on Monday, Paul Cleveland and I recorded a public service announcement relating to Occupy Peterborough. Station program director James Kerr has offered to, quote, play the hell out of it. Last meeting I proposed that I take some people's statements, sort of the format of, hi, my name is, and I'm a teacher or whatever, and I occupy because. I am prepared to have people's input at this meeting. You can give as much or as little information about yourself as you want. Just say whatever you feel comfortable with. If you want to think about it, if you want to do it at another time, I'll be, this is ongoing. I'll do this at future meetings. The third, I have promised to post the video online, and I've been collecting it, but so far online, all I've got is the Raging Grannies.
Yes!
Okay. Through a combination of personal circumstance and computer trouble, I haven't been able to get anything more posted. I need help. I use Windows. You're offered to help?
Yeah, I'll help you. Talk after? We'll get that done.
We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Going around the circle, are there any other announcements, updates? Anyone here? And that's Jim.
Mark again, since neither Brian nor Miles stepped up to take credit for the buttons.
All right, Joe, did you have an update?
Yeah, I have an announcement. I don't, maybe it's been covered. Did you mention, James, the Ottawa event in Ottawa on the 14th of February? I'm hoping that event, it's part of a 3-day hearing, I'm understanding, and the rally itself is on the 14th. It's called Have a Heart, in support not just of Attawapiskat, but also other reserves who are suffering shamefully in this nation. This absolutely has to be addressed, and I personally feel, and I know other Occupy people do feel, that this is intrinsic to our mandate and our principles to support them. So, having said that, I'm wondering what our position might be here in Peterborough, and how, I don't know how you want to deal with it.
I would suggest for process maybe that going to maybe the outreach committee and getting them to bring a directly statement of solidarity. Like, I'm not exactly sure what you're looking for.
Well, it might also be direct action. I was looking for a big presence in Ottawa on the 14th.
So maybe that would be something that I would suggest would go to the Direct Action Committee, and also as information through the outreach and comms, you know, so that people, whether they're Occupy related or not, know about the action. But if there's to be some force from Occupy to Peterborough, you know, like if we're going with our banners, if we want to put some of our time and resource in here, then I would suggest that the right process would be to go through the Direct Action Committee and then bring the direct proposal here to be ratified by the GA.
Okay. I'd like to suggest that if anybody beyond the Direct Action Committee or the Outreach Committee is interested in the program that they, in the rally, that they get in touch with me, or Yes,
Would you like to be on the Direct Action Committee?
pardon me?
Would you like to be on the Direct Action Committee?
I am on the direct action.
Okay. Perfect.
So at this juncture, just for anyone who might be new, every single committee you're hearing about is absolutely 100% open and in fact needs your energy, time, effort, passion, etc. And anything that you're hearing, isn't covered by an existing committee, for instance. People can feel welcome to bring a proposal and say, hey, we need a blank committee, right? So before we move on to proposals then, if there's no other announcements, I am somewhat involved with the facilitation committee, which is eagerly seeking folks who want to play, and like I said, our goal is to sometime in the next couple of weeks, probably in the lower room here, actually have a couple evenings of workshops so that people can come and kind of tool up. And then the second committee that I'm loosely related to, because there's not many other members, is the logistics committee. And so it as well is generally seeking folks to kind of be involved in the logistics committee. Primarily does things like make sure we have a room, make sure if there's guests coming in that we know what time they're coming, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's a very good committee for people who can't necessarily make it out to things, because it's a lot of sort of administrative stuff. So please pass on the message to folks you know who might not be able to have a physical presence, but might want to lend some effort and help, that there's much that can be done in those ways.
And I would like to do a similar shout out to the Communications Committee. This is kind of at this point in time, kind of the geek division. And it's a lot more kind of administrative stuff as well, bringing together online and offline platforms. And kind of a shout out to that, we are doing, we're going to gather, if anyone would like to be on the text list or a phone list, because email isn't totally accessible for them. And if they want to be on the text list to get same-day information for urgent updates or urgent actions or whatnot, we're going to be collecting those after the meeting, if anyone would be interested in that. So shout out to the Communications Committee if you'd like to participate.
So in this next chapter, we're going to move on to our proposals. And the way that works process-wise is that anybody who would like to make a proposal makes the proposal. We listen to each of those and hopefully say them slow enough that the note taker can actually get down the proposal. After that, we have a bit of discussion and kind of get a temperature check or do a straw poll to see how much discussion we need to have to move towards consensus, or on some matters we might just have to say, hey, we're gonna have to have lots of discussion about this. And then once we've kind of figured that out and allowed so much as possible room for discussion on things that we are going to make a decision on today, we make those decisions. So, to all of you and your brilliant thoughts, we have some fun proposals for our 4th GA today. Yeah. You're the only person I've seen flag.
I'm Annie, and I brought this idea forward to the Outreach Committee last week. The Reframe Festival is happening next weekend, and if anyone doesn't know what the Reframe Festival is about, it's all documentary films, mostly on issues of social justice. Right here in Peterborough, it's a really excellent forum, and I thought that an outreach table there, an information, educational kind of thing, we don't want to protest them obviously because they're doing something we really like, but something that if people were interested in joining us, outreach, it would be great if we had a little bit of information and some people, and so I took the initiative of writing to Reframe. They said we could have a table. There's usually a minimum donation of $25, but they even said they'd waive that, although I think it would be really good to give them something. And so the table would be at Market Hall from Friday late morning to Sunday afternoon. So I guess the question is, can we round up enough people to man the table for that period? And secondly, can outreach come up with enough, a little bit of print material or something that we can perhaps even as much as a business card. And we had talked about doing a business card at the outreach meeting. I don't know where that's at, but just something and engage people, and have some, I think if one of us wants to start, if we have a group of people that want to volunteer to man the tables, we should have something that they can sort of refer to as a sort of point message kind of thing, although it may be premature, I don't know. So I'm just throwing this up as a possibility, but the deadline is obviously, I have to let them know this week, like right away, practical.
Okay, so when we get to the point of actually discussing that proposal, we'll probably have to kind of break it up into two mini decisions. One, is this something that the General Assembly wants to do? And two, are we fairly sure that we can actually staff it? So that's the gist of the proposal. Okay. I believe you were.
Point of clarification.
Sure.
You know, the idea is an excellent idea, but it all comes back to this issue of we need a central message.
Okay, well, at this point, what we're doing is just getting people's proposals, and then we're gonna discuss each of those proposals.
Sorry.
So, if you can just hold on that one for a few.
Okay, this is half announcement, half proposal, in the sense that this Monday, the 23rd, in Toronto, there's as part of Occupy Toronto, they're having a workshop with Indigenous perspectives on the Occupy movement. And 3 key speakers include Tom Goldtooth, Thomas Clayton Mueller from the Indigenous Environmental Network, as well as Leanne Simpson, a Trent University prof and Alderville First Nation activist. Now, the reason that is a very strong workshop that's happening in Toronto is that there has been a lot of critiques from First Nations and other Indigenous communities that the Occupy movement is branded in a strange way using the word occupy, because we already live on occupied colonized land. And if we want to decolonize Canada, if we want to unoccupy the land itself, then why are we using the word occupy for movements like the one here in Peterborough? So I would like to propose that we come to some sort of clarification about the name Occupied Peterborough or Occupy Peterborough. I know a lot of the buttons and a lot of the branding, they use the word occupy, and that's fine, but I'm wondering how people feel about making a decision today about what we call ourselves. The banner says Occupy, bracket EV, Occupied Peterborough. And a lot of the posters show Occupied Peterborough. But a lot of the outreach, a lot of the communications, a lot of emails that go flying around tend to just use the word occupy.
So to facilitate the proposal process, could you perhaps, instead of us coming to a decision about whether or not we're going to make that decision today, perhaps you could just propose something and then we can discuss the for and against that.
Yeah. So I guess my proposal would be that I like to build upon the Occupy movement by using that word, but with the modifier ED in all advertising, in all promotions, in all outreach, that it says Occupied Peterborough. And that will set us apart from the others.
So the proposal that we'll then discuss is whether we ought to create a consistency with the way that we use our name, including the ED after Occupy.
Name?
Yeah, my name's James Wolf.